Her Excellency, the wife of Bauchi State Governor Hadiza Mohammed Abubakar, takes us through how she became the reference point and the pace setter to every other young girl for being the first person to go to the university among the female children in her entire family. Please stay tuned and get motivated. We all have stories to share.
I was born and we didn't have money.
In my own case, my first sandals was when I was in class 2.
Hard work is the only thing that you have control of in terms of the dividend or the results that will come out of it.
Same questions, but different responses.
Sometimes people will say, oh, you are lucky.
I'm lucky.
Don't believe in luck.
I can also say my hard work put me through.
I'm lucky because I work.
Listen to true life stories with experiences that will inspire you on My Story every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. on AIT Abuja. For sponsorship or advert placement, contact the producer on 0806 004 2843.
Alongside Timmy.
Our viewers, my name is Honorable Hadiza Johnson Agwanima. People call me EJ as my mission, representing the good people of Ego over Africa constituency, the habit of the nation. And this is my story on AI.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story. This is my story.
This is my story. This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story. This is my story.
This is my story. My brothers and sisters, this is my story.
My name is Hadiza Mohammed Abubakar. I'm indigenous of Katsina State. I was born and brought up in Kano. My husband, His Excellency Mohammed Abdullahi Abubakar, the governor of Bauchi State, is from Bauchi. I started my primary school education in Katsina from 1963 to 1970. Thereafter, I did my secondary school. Part of my secondary school, I started my junior secondary school in Government Girls College in Kankia, because at a point I went to live with my grandparents. So I started my school with my grandparents. After Form 2, I transferred to Government Girls College, Dalakano, where I did my WASC. I finished in 1974, and I was fortunate to gain admission in the School of Basic Studies at Ahmadu Bello University the same year. Thereafter, I proceeded to obtain a degree in BA Honours Literature. I graduated in 1978. I did my NYC in 1979 and started work with the NTA the same year. I served the NTA for 10 years, and in 1990 I was fortunate to gain admission and join the Central Bank of Nigeria as a manager. I worked with the Central Bank. My first posting was Bauchi, naturally, because I was living in Bauchi with my family. I stayed in Bauchi from 1990 as a manager. I rose through the ranks to become a senior manager, an assistant director, and had the opportunity to serve as the branch controller in Bauchi on acting capacity for a period of 1 year. In 2004, I was transferred to CBN headquarters in Abuja, and I worked with the Human Resources Department. While I was with the Human Resources Department, I worked with 3 divisions. I was in the learning management, which is the training. I also worked with the service center and also worked with the rewards and benefit, all as the head of the division. In 2011, I was posted to branch operations department, and in June 2011, I was appointed director of branch operations department, and I retired voluntarily the same month to go and pursue other endeavors. While I was working, I took time off in 2006 to go back to school. I went back to Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. I read an MSc in public administration, just 1 year study leave, and then went back and continued. I was the first female to go to university from the entire family. When I say family, everybody, my siblings and everybody. Later on, because I did well, I became a point of reference. If any girl is not doing well in school, they will ask her, don't you want to be like, So there is an improvement because people now understand the need to invest in girls, the need to send girls to school, and we have come a long way and away from the perception that sending girls to school make them wayward. Examples have been set. There are a lot of people in the north that have attained their potential, that are doing well, they have gone to secondary school, university, and they didn't turn out wayward. So that culture or tradition of thinking that if you allow your girl to go to university, she becomes wayward has been, is gone, is done away with. Now, some of the reasons now that militate against girls going to school are sometimes poverty. Families are sometimes forced to prioritize. You have so many children you want to send to school, and there's the tendency for people to think that if you train the boy, he's going to do much more, he's going to support the family, he's going to be the breadwinner. But experience has shown that the popular saying that if you educate a woman, you educate the whole nation. She's the mother to her children. She's the first teacher to her children. She helps to train, to mold the children, and helps to support the family. So my conclusion is the difference is we now know better. We have seen examples that prove to us that it is in our own interest to allow our girls to go to school. The awareness is more. People are more enlightened. People are more, you will discover that more and more parents have gone to school, so they will not stop their own children from going to school. So there's a tremendous improvement, though there is still a lot to be done. I consider myself very, very fortunate. I'm very, very lucky to come from the family I've come from. My father believed in education, and he didn't discriminate against me. I was educated along with my brothers, so he invested in me as a girl child, and I got all the education that my siblings got. He was also a disciplinarian, very, very strict. At the point I was growing up, we used to think, along with my own siblings, that it was too much. But with the benefit of the hindsight, after we have grown up, that strictness, that discipline molded us into what we are today. My mother was a very, very loving and caring woman who believes also in encouraging her children to attain their maximum potential. I could also recall that at any point in time, if something comes, you are talking about, I want to leave this job and pursue so that I can get a better pay, I can do this, she will always say that one is long throat. Just do what you are good at and maintain. And she had always voiced out that she didn't like the idea of business. So if you say business, she says she will not like the idea of business. Go and work in a formal institution. Go and work with government so that you can develop. So that is the kind of upbringing I had. My parents were very supportive. My father encouraged me to read. He made it a point, and that's how, after my primary school, I easily enrolled in secondary school. By the time I was going to university, there was a lot of pressure from the extended family. Incidentally, I happened to be the first female girl that attended university from the entire family. So it was a huge war between my father and his siblings, let me say, his brothers, maybe his uncles. They believed that it was wrong for him to allow me to go to university. And they kept quoting that when girls are allowed to go to university, they become perverts, they become wayward. But what he did was he called me and said, I want you to go to the university because you are doing very well in school. But this is the problem that I'm facing with my own people. And I said, Baba, allow me to go to university, and I want to assure you that I will never bring shame to this family. So we had like a pact, and he allowed me to go to university, and the rest is history. There are those who were not as lucky. I had schoolmates, I had classmates, I had people I knew whose education and progress was terminated from primary school. So the luck here now is for you to have the kind of family that understands the value of education, that understands the importance of investing in educating their children.
There's what you call grand corruption, petty corruption, and systemic corruption.
Free education is the cheapest project that government can embark, unlike construction.
Small issues like lights, steady power supply. For me, that's the biggest issue.
We need to look at socio-political, economic foundations and resilience organizations for our teenagers.
Leadership is an opportunity for you to serve other people. And if you are not willing to serve, you have no business being in leadership.
Alongside Timmy. Yes, so no be lies, it's Zima Paul. They call me a free. Based on logistics, man. This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story. This is my story.
This is my story.
And this is my story.
Early at 11, I could go to the market, shop, come home. I cook for the whole family, a family of 10 at that tender age.
Sometimes I have to go selling akara to make some little money, or to be given some few of those akara as part of the payment.
From JS3 to XS3, I was working in the market in Warri, in a particular market called Besu Market. I was pushing wheelbarrow and truck, then as a student.
One is bound to encounter challenges, but challenges are meant to be overcome. in my case, let me say I was also lucky to have a very, very supportive family when I was growing up. And when I got married, also lucky to have a very, very supportive husband. My husband encouraged me. He believed in me and always pushed me to attain my full potential. So my call on teenage girls is for them to first of all believe in themselves. If you believe in yourself, it is then that you even want to achieve something. To have the confidence to do it. And to know that there is no reason whatsoever that they cannot compete with the boys. To get away from that notion that as a girl, you should only be seen, not to be heard. This is different from the belief that a man and a woman are equal. I do not believe that we are equal, because in so many respects we have our differences. We have been created different and we have our differences. There are areas that a woman are better and there are areas that a man is better. So for me, the two roles complement one another. But for us to be able to achieve the potential, we should believe in ourselves, we should want to develop ourselves, and we should have the confidence to do it, and we should have the resolve that no matter what, we will succeed. And then one will succeed. But when you sit back and allow things to just happen and pass you by, nothing comes easy. Life itself is not a straight road. So the girls, for me, they should have the confidence, they should believe in themselves, and they should strive above all to live and lead a pious life. That is also very, very key. The Bauchi state government has made education a priority, and for that reason I think the greatest percentage of the budget for the state has been allocated to education, and there are programs and initiatives to address that globally. When I say globally, I'm talking about statewide, because the government has declared like a state of emergency on education. It has made it a primary focus because we know the situation we are in. From our own point of view as an NGO, we are seeking collaboration with Ministry of Education. We have had a meeting with them and we've told them of our intention on how to reintegrate these girls back to school. There are in Bauchi State some schools that are called married women schools. We intend to use those schools to see how we can incorporate this into the initiative. There are also adult and non-formal literacy classes. We also intend to do that. And also in the area of skills acquisition, there is a program that runs side by side with skills acquisition and then learning. So these are some of the interventions that we intend to leverage on to achieve the objective. I met His Excellency at the university. We actually enrolled at the School of Basic Studies at the same time, and we were doing our induction program. That's where we met. And we quoted for about 5 years because we were still very young. I was only 16 when I went to the university. So we quoted for 5 years, and we got married in 1979. That is the actual wedding fatia itself, the nikah as they call it. And then the wedding proper took place in 1980. So I've been married from 79 to date. And the marriage has been blessed with 5 adorable children. 3 of them are married now. 1 is still in the university. She's just doing her first year. And the other one has done her master's, and she's serving in an organization in Abuja. Between the 3 children that are married, we have 6 adorable grandchildren. So at the family level, God has also been very kind to us, and Alhamdulillah, I'm very grateful. I feel as I'm fulfilled as a parent, and I give the credit to God Almighty. I would say the Nigerian woman has come a long way. The Nigerian woman is actively participating in developments in the country. Unlike before, where the participation level was very, very low, we can now say the participation level has increased generally in the country, and in particular in the north. We have seen improvements, though I agree that there's still room for improvement, but we have also come a long way. If somebody like me could have gone to the university in those years, I went to the university in the 70s, you can see that a lot of improvement has been achieved. We still have a lot to do, and we are working on it to ensure that our teenage girls have access to education, access to health information, and access to skills training so that they can attain their full potential. Well, what we have done so far is start by conducting a need assessment report. We have commissioned a consultant who went around all the 20 local governments in Bauchi State to discuss on the various objectives. In particular, if you are talking of the reintegration of the girls back to school, the report has revealed that we have over 6,000 of such girls that have dropped out of school. So our approach now is to extend our hand of friendship, our hand of collaboration, seeking support from Ministry of Education in the state, from UNICEF. Very soon, I'm going to have a meeting with UNICEF. We have interacted, we have written letters to them. We have agreed to slot a date that I'm going to pay them a courtesy visit. They will do a presentation, and from then we will now look at the next steps of how we could support this initiative. There's also the issue of UNESCO. Before I traveled, I was made to understand that UNESCO has a fund purposely for that, and we are also going to discuss and collaborate with the relevant agencies so that we could see how we can achieve this initiative. But we have rolled out the process because we have the data, and what remains now is for us to have the necessary technical and financial support to enable us implement.
And that's it on My Story Today. For your comments and suggestions, please send a text or WhatsApp message to 0806 004 2843. Thank you for staying tuned.